Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Get Fresh, Stoughton's own cooking show. I'm Sharon Fradkin, and I'm your host, or hostess, they used to say, huh? And I'm here with Chef Laura McDougall from Home Plate Advantage, and Laura's a personal chef, and we're going to tell you in a few minutes what that's all about.
Absolutely.
And here with Carlos Vargas of Vargas & Vargas Insurance. They told me to lose my Vargas and Vargas. So I'm working on it, people. And Carlos is a home cook, but does lots of fabulous cooking at home. So today what we're going to do is take off on a show we did in the past on soups, and we talked a lot about grilled sandwiches to go with the soups. So here we're going to do the grilled sandwiches. So Laura's going to be doing a turkey and avocado panini and
a turkey and chutney and brie panini.
But turkey, chutney and brie, yummy.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can do anything you want. So that's the beauty of paninis. It's kind of like you know, sandwiches.
Put it all in
really.
there. It's a sandwich.
So we're going to start out. Do you want me to jump right into it?
Well, I was just going to say, then we're going to follow with a Cuban sandwich, which is really popular these days, and some takes on grilled cheeses that are just not the typical grilled cheese. So go, get started.
Exactly. Grilled cheese is such a big thing now. It's like this whole craze, isn't
Everywhere.
it?
Grilled cheese trucks.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese trucks.
And turkey sandwiches, I mean, we all try to watch our weight. We're all trying to be good. You know, summer's coming or holidays are coming or that vacation's coming. So turkey can get boring really quickly. So the way we're going to dress it up a little bit is we're going to do a panini and still not adding a ton of calories, but just making it really delicious. So the first one I'm going to do is I've got some nice red peppers here, roasted red peppers. And we're going to do a little bit of avocado, so healthy. It's a healthy fat, remember, with just a touch of mayo. Carlos, I'm going to ask you to do that. What we're going to do is have the avocado, mash it up in this bowl, and then mix in a little bit of the mayo as well. You could add a little lime juice if you wanted to. And then
avocados are very moist.
It is.
It's a fruit, right?
It is a fruit, yes. So then, I don't know if you can see that or not, we're going to add some roasted red peppers. I love roasted red peppers, but it could be sun-dried tomatoes. It could be, you know, sliced fresh tomatoes.
Right.
Don't use raw peppers only because they're not going to cook well unless you like that crunch in your sandwich, and then by all means,
we were talking about that before. You know, an onion totally uncooked is probably not going to cook fully in the sandwich.
Yeah, so you do have to kind of consider that it's not cooking it, it's kind of just toasting it through and making it yummy, but not cooking it per se. So to this, we're going to add a little bit of provolone cheese. You could do Swiss, you could do Munster, you could do mozzarella, you could do whatever cheese you like, but the provolone I think works nicely with the peppers.
It's got a great flavor.
Yeah, and
I
it
ended
melts.
up selecting sharp.
Nice.
That was sharp and mild, so I
Very
thought.
nice.
Just half the avocado?
Why don't you do the whole thing, because leftovers are never bad. This will keep.
That's right.
So just fold it in half. You want to try to keep your filling inside of the bread if you can. And we're just using just a nice like Italian bread. Nothing fancy on this
we
one.
bought a large bread. I do want to say thank you to Stop and Shop in Stoughton because they have provided us with most of the ingredients. They're so wonderful and such a great neighbor in town to donate to the show and to so many other organizations. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Stop and Shop.
Yeah, exactly.
So here, that's our panini press making that noise.
Oh, and we are going to use a panini press, which is another piece of equipment that many people have. If you don't have one, use a fry pan.
Absolutely.
Do you put like a brick on it?
You need another pan on top, and then maybe like a 28-ounce can of tomatoes or something like that, something heavy.
Oh,
just to weigh it down a little bit. Yeah.
Now, Laura, I note that you didn't butter or mayonnaise the bread on the back side, which you will have to eventually, right?
We are actually going to put a little bit of olive oil on the press.
Ah.
Yes.
So actually that makes it lighter.
It does make it a little bit lighter.
Yes.
So beautiful. So if you want to show that, just kind of nice and mashed up.
There.
That's just going to be our schmear, if you call it.
Yeah.
Adding a little healthy fat. If you don't like mayonnaise, you don't like avocado, you could do, well, if you don't like mayonnaise, you could do just sliced avocado.
Right.
You could do mustard. You could do whatever condiment makes you happy.
Can you do that comeback sauce?
Why
Because
not?
I make that sauce and I just keep it in the house.
What's
That's
in the
from an
comeback
old
sauce?
show.
I'm trying to remember. I've made it so many times. There's ketchup, or chili sauce, and mayonnaise. Oh, there was mayonnaise in it, though.
There is some mayonnaise in there too.
So you can see she put the
So just a
avocado
little
on
bit.
one side, the turkey and the peppers on the other side. Now that's a fairly thick sandwich to start
It is,
with.
but you're going to press it down.
Oh, I know.
And it's going to smush down a little bit.
I guess what's
so-
interesting is how thick to start it
Right.
and how you end up with it.
Yeah,
Panini.
and the other thing is too, you don't want to use very hard bread, so this has got a nice little give to it
Right,
in the middle.
middle.
Use nice fresh bread because you do want a little bit of give in your sandwich. So I'm going to throw them both on at the same time. The second one, just so we have them ready to go, is a little different. And that was smoked turkey on there.
Correct.
Which
That was
just
the
adds a nice
mesquite,
little
wasn't it? The
flavor.
mesquite
Yeah.
smoke, yeah.
So the second one we're going
And
to
you
do.
can have fun at the deli counter. I
Oh
had
my
a great
gosh,
time.
yeah.
2 slices of this, 2 slices of that. You
I know they're so good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to slice my bread for the Cuban sandwich, right? So this, and I'm going to butter it.
Cuban sandwich.
Cuban
that is big
sandwich.
today, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it is.
yummy.
It's common. Really common.
So it's just a little bit of chutney that I'm putting on there, but you can use cranberry sauce or any kind of sweet.
That would
you
be
could use
interesting.
like a nice thick jam would be really good.
So
Apricot
yeah,
or something
you could
like
take
that. fig.
really be creative. Sandwiches like this are a real opportunity to be creative.
And clean out the refrigerator.
Absolutely.
Seriously, you just open it up and
Right.
see what's in there and kind of get a
Right.
feel for what would go well together.
Absolutely.
Put it in. I brought some roast beef and I brought salami that I had in the house, and if we have time, we might get to a sandwich that uses those. Now that's a lot. Then you're going to cut it in half.
Yeah, I'm just
That's a
going to
big
try to get
sandwich.
a little bit browned on one side, and then
So
we'll do
you
the other
used
side.
like an easy spread.
Yeah, just
smart
a
balance.
light olive oil spread. That's what I'm using here. I use butter for baking, but this
Now
is
why are you doing that on the inside?
just to kind of pick up the browning on the inside a little bit, crunch, flavor. You know.
Because that's
Yeah.
you know, the old-fashioned grilled cheese, everybody knows. You take one to bread,
Right.
you put butter on the outside,
Yeah.
a few slices of cheese on the inside, lay it in a pan,
It's done.
turn it over, and it's done.
And they
This
accept
ain't
it.
your mama's
Right.
grilled cheese, right?
That's right. That's the when you were a kid grilled cheese.
So for this one, I just have plain turkey. It's just your nice roast turkey. If you have some leftovers, holiday time, sometimes people will do birds. You can use chicken, any bird
No,
or
you could
meat
just
that you
use like
have.
turkey off a big turkey.
Exactly, just slice it nice and thin. So what we've done again is just the chutney, the brie cheese, a little brie because it melts beautifully, and that's the thing with grilled cheeses, with paninis, you want a cheese that's going to melt. So like slices of Parmesan, it's not going to melt. Slices of
Yeah,
Manchego,
right.
you want a nice
hard,
creamy.
hard cheeses. And-
Yeah, you want a nice creamy.
Now, what about
cheese.
using shredded cheeses?
Sure.
That would
Sure.
work.
Yeah.
use-
Oh, he shreds his
I
own.
brought my own.
And
so
it does
it's,
make it melt faster
it
because
does,
it's smaller.
I use Cabot, but he shreds his own.
I shred mine.
But just make sure that you pack your sandwich tight and go straight in. Otherwise, it's going to be cheese all
Yeah,
over.
all over the place. Cheese does ooze out of the edges, which is why Laura was so careful not to let too much food hang off the side. So this is
this
the
is our
panini press.
Yeah, and it's nice and hot. I'm just going to oil it a little bit. It is a non-stick surface, but we do want to get a little bit of crunch. So just a paper towel. Just be careful of your fingers. I'm not getting enough oil. There we go.
And we've been told the panini presses maybe cost about $90 to $100.
Yeah, you can get a cheap one. I wouldn't, but you could get a cheap one for $30, $40. But then you can, really get the pro one for
So if you're really going to be cooking and you
$200.
make a lot of sandwiches and you have a big family or a lot of company, invest.
$75
And if
to
not,
$100.
give it a shot. I make grilled sandwiches, maybe once a month. I don't know how
Yeah.
often you might do them.
Weekly?
Weekly, see?
Weekly.
They're also good for quesadillas, too.
So those sandwiches look wonderful.
So we
Yeah.
are just going to make sure that we get in there close.
And you just have to push.
And then just
so you
press.
hold it down, it doesn't lock?
Well, it won't lock because there's stuff in there.
Right.
It locks when you
Right.
want to carry it.
I see,
But I
but
want to
for-
just, start to get a little bit of a press on there. As it cooks, it'll be easier for it to smush, if you would, for lack of a
Yeah,
technical
smush.
term.
Right,
Smush.
right.
You could also put a can or something on top, but we're going to let that sit there about 4 or 5 minutes.
4 or 5
and
minutes.
then check on them.
So, and
Carlos?
you can certainly go the no panini press route, which is the fry pan route, one on top of another, or I don't even, I just kind of press it down with my spatula when I'm making it
Yeah.
a little bit. It depends on what's in it. If it's just cheese, it's easy. If it's a
Yeah.
big thick
Exactly.
sandwich and a big hard
That's what
bread.
I've been using for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Because a panini press tends to be a pain to clean, so pan a lot easier, another pan on top of it. So if you wouldn't mind just
Exactly.
slicing those, that'd be
Of
great.
course.
And what I'm
So,
gonna-
so here's just show the
yeah,
bread,
so
how
I
it
just
got
kind
like
of
kind of
browned
buttery,
it up a little
crusty.
bit. So The best bread for this is a Cuban loaf of bread, and we did.
What is that? What's a
pan al cubano, which is kind of a French bread, not as
But a
crusty
thick
on the
French
outside,
bread?
the thicker. So exactly.
How is that
soft.
different from
Yeah,
Italian
really
bread,
Really
though?
soft.
The Italian is really soft all the way through, and the Cuban baguette is kind of crunchy on the outside, but not like a French baguette, super crunchy. So
Okay.
you kind of, so my Cuban friends
So
would,
have fun at bread stores and have
That's
fun
right.
at Stop and Shop, which is where I got all these breads.
so my Cuban friends would frown on this because you're supposed to use
I know.
the
I know.
golden mustard, but I like, I like the poupon mustard. It kind
And
of
I
steps it
like
up
the
another.
Dijon.
Little
You
classic.
like Dijon,
You
right?
like a
Dijon.
classic Cuban.
They call and a little bit of mayo on the inside, right? I mean, so this is
So you put mustard and mayo.
mustard on one side,
Mustard
mayo on
and
the
mayo.
other. We have some adobo pork here that we did,
So
right?
talk about what's adobo
So,
pork,
adobo
or what's
is-
adobo anything.
Adobo is Spanish flavoring. It's usually water, vinegar, bay leaf. It has
smoked
cumin in it. It has
Paprika too, I think. A little
paprika. I've never put.
There's something red in
Yeah.
There is? I mean, I've bought
yeah.
the brand name adobo
Yeah.
seasoning in a container,
the
Yeah.
and I
adobo.
use that a lot. And it has some garlic in it, it has
Yeah.
some salt in it for
Yeah.
sure, and some other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So-
it's somewhat
But
mild. It's not.
It's in a marinade overnight. So you kind of marinate the pork shoulder or the pork butt, and just kind of picks up all those great flavors in it. So
So
yeah.
you put what? Just sliced Swiss
some
cheese.
and you can do it really any which way that you want to do it here. So I'm just going to break this up a little bit.
That's
right?
good.
In general, a Cuban sandwich is pork, ham, and cheese.
Yes.
Yeah,
pork,
with
yeah.
mustard, mayo, and pickles.
Yeah.
Mustard, mayo, and pickles, and I think pickles are the
Yeah.
special. Oh, and Laura's
Pickles,
cutting the
right?
pickles.
So
Yeah.
we
See that?
slice the pickles instead of chopping them because you chop them and you bite into it and the pickles are all over the plate. This way you're getting little strips of pickle and flavor in your sandwich.
And as you all well know, there's many kinds of pickles these
Like-
days.
Oh my God! Yeah, thank
So
you so
I buy
much.
kosher dill,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it have to be
there's-
dill for Cubans.
Yeah,
Right,
it does. It has to be something spicy and with a little bit of a bite. And there are a lot of companies that make their own pickles now. It's a really
Oh,
big
yeah.
industry.
There's a pickle man, isn't there? Seen
Yes,
around town?
yeah.
The
Yeah.
pepper pickle man.
Yeah.
I've seen
Pepper
him
pick-
around.
yeah.
And Fresh Catch actually carries pickles that are very good. I think they're their own or they're made for them.
Well,
so
in
yeah.
Stop and Shop, I did end up getting a brand because it seemed like the smallest jar.
Yeah.
But they had fresh made pickles,
Oh, did they?
under somebody's name.
Okay.
Right.
So there are a lot of. Oh, that looks fabulous.
So
Look,
that's
can you, I
typically-
wanted them
yeah.
to see that before you closed
So
it.
it's-
Just look at the side of that. Look how
So
big it
it's-
is, Aisha.
Kind of does its thing here.
Make sure Jeff sees.
Yeah, just kind of flatten it out once the panini gets. But I can throw it over here.
Yeah, I think we're done.
We're
We're getting
done?
close, so let's
Getting
just take a
close?
look.
Now look at our cheese melted.
So we're just gonna, yep, that's really nice
Can you
already.
see that?
Yeah.
So nice and crisp.
Yum.
You can hear it's got a nice crunch. Those I'm gonna let go just
It
a
smells
tiny
delicious.
bit more. Some of our brie, the problem with
The
brie,
brie
it is
is-
very soft, but it
brie
does
is a
leak
soft
out. We'll
cheese.
just stick it back in there.
Could you use camembert?
Sure, absolutely. Do you wanna pop yours there?
Sure, could I do that?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to do this.
So you're buttering yours before
I'm going to
putting
put a
it
little bit more
in.
butter in there. More butter.
More
More
butter.
butter, more butter.
This is the healthy
This
butter.
is not the healthiest sandwich, but it's so good.
It's a
Just
healthy
to
butter.
let you know,
Good.
Carlos walks how many miles a day?
3, 4. I try to
3,
walk.
4?
Try to walk every
So he can
day.
eat a little bit of what
The butter's
this isn't even butter really, it's light olive oil, smart
Spread.
balance.
Exactly.
Spread, right?
Not
Exactly.
that butter has come back into fashion, I will tell you.
It has.
For a
Yeah.
while it
Well,
was
they're
don't eat
saying
butter,
that
now
it's-
it's butter on everything.
Yeah, they're saying it's not as bad as we think it is. So
Right,
you can
just-
see,
It's a little bit of fat.
really
right?
delicious.
That
The cheese
delicious.
is all
I'm
melty.
gonna grab a plate for our sandwiches.
Perfect.
And as I was saying, I mean, if you have leftover cranberry sauce, you have any kind of jams, you have like a fig jam would be really nice with
Right,
this with
yeah.
cheese. You don't have to put the turkey. You could put, you could do cheese and maybe like a sun-dried tomato spread and salami. Of course,
Right,
Dijon.
so
I love
Dijon,
Dijon too,
right. A
definitely.
little horseradish or something, just a little touch up,
Absolutely,
yeah.
a horseradish spread, pesto would be
Yeah.
really good. Any kind of a spread that you want to put in there that's going to add flavor. If it's summertime, tomatoes, fresh basil in there, and a little thin sliced mozzarella would be fabulous as well.
Start to put all our sandwiches on a plate.
So,
And the guys from Smack that tape our show for us, and we so much appreciate, they're going to be enjoying these sandwiches when we start.
They will. As
Stop
we will.
drooling,
As
guys.
we will.
As we
yeah.
will.
I'm just gonna pull mine off
Yep.
real quick.
Perfect.
Should use a spatula, but
I have.
seasoned chef, use my fingers.
Would this help?
Yeah, actually that would be better. Now this is nonstick, so of course we always want to be careful about metal on nonstick things.
Right.
There we go.
It
Give
smells
your
delicious, yeah.
get your
Move
guy
that
in
devil
there.
to the middle.
Come here, you.
Yep.
I find the paninis, if you go sideways, they don't squish out as much.
Right.
The ingredients, we lost our pickle, but that's okay.
It's doing its thing.
It's a little messy.
And
Yeah.
we'll let that just be happy in there
Yeah,
for a
we
little
Put
while.
those on
Perfect.
here. Now that's a small enough sandwich, you hardly would have to cut
You
it.
don't even have to cut that one, no. So that one will do. But if you have bigger bread, you might want to cut it in half.
Right, sure.
So that's that one.
Oh, that looks pretty.
Coming along.
That looks
Very
pretty.
nice.
Coming
Nicely.
along, it
That
looks
looks
very
pretty.
pretty. All it
Very
needs is a few
nicely.
grapes, which I didn't bring on the edge of the plate.
We'll throw a few extra pickles on there.
Yeah.
Sure, that'd be great.
There we go.
Laura, this is a good time perhaps while we're waiting for that to cook. Oh, well, we were gonna do some other grilled cheeses
Yeah. Did you want to do
too.
your grilled cheese first?
Those were my
No,
two.
that's
Oh, you
hers.
too?
It's on, now Carlos is
I'm
gonna
done.
do,
So I'm on.
yeah, a little bit,
Kind of a-
not a traditional,
It's
but
Ruth
a
Reichel's
recipe.
recipe here, and I've seen it done in many different places.
Go
so,
ahead.
It has alliums that are mixed they're mixed in with the cheese. So
Tell people what alliums are.
alliums are the onion family, right? So
Yeah.
you have your
Leek?
leek, sorry.
It's a leak in the boat.
So you have your leek in the boat. You have your onions, and we have some
Shallots.
scallions as well.
Yeah,
So I was gonna.
scallions
Would
are
you
right
mind just
here.
chopping
Of
those up for
course,
me?
of course.
So, but these you really have to be careful because there's all kinds of dirt in there. So you
Oh,
need
leeks
to.
can be,
Yeah,
yeah.
leeks tend to be.
These are organic scallions.
They are,
As a matter of
perfect.
fact, and you look
I'm
beautiful.
gonna chop
Do you need
those.
more?
No, that's more than enough. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna slice this in the center, and just going to.
Do you need to melt butter in there?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So that's the bottom white part. You don't use the
That
green
is,
part
yeah,
at
the top leafy part you don't really.
It gets really tough on the top,
Yeah.
yeah. But they're good if you throw them into like if you're making stock.
Yeah.
You can
to
use the
cook
dark
it
greens
and then
cook
throw
that
it away
in.
after. Laura, while we have a few, well, are you doing a lot of talking right now? Because if
No,
not,
I'm actually gonna just go rinse this because of all that dirt there.
Okay.
And
And this
brush-
is a great way to do it.
I
Chop it
can do that
first
for
and then
you.
rinse it.
Yeah,
I'll
just
do
because
rinse
that
it
for you. I'll
off.
be right
Yeah,
back.
thank you.
it just makes it so much easier to really get in there, especially if you have a very dirty leek.
This one looks pretty good.
Yeah, sometimes they're spotless, I find.
Right,
Like I've cut them
right.
open, there's nothing
And sometimes
in
there's
there.
like a whole truckload of mud in there,
Oh
right?
God, yeah.
So I'm just going to take a few of these.
Do you want these minced or just sliced?
Just kind of thinly sliced would
Okay.
be great.
There you go.
Thank you.
So Laura, this might be a good time to chat just a little bit about what's a personal chef.
Yeah, a personal chef. and
Different
what-
than a private chef.
Yes.
Which Tom Brady has.
Yes, Tom Brady has a private chef, which means that chef is his and his alone.
Correct.
And does all the meals for that particular client. But if that client goes away, the private chef has no one.
Right.
I'm lucky. I get to cook
You
for a
have a-
whole bunch of different people, so I'm a
Right.
personal chef. And I can cook, multiple meals for the week for multiple clients, and then do a party on the weekend, and then maybe do a cooking lesson on a weeknight, or whatever my clients might need from me. And that's, it's nice because there's a lot of special diets, there's a lot of health issues, there's a lot of things that people struggle with.
Right.
Time issues, is a real big
Right.
one.
It just depends.
Or
Some
just
people's
picky
job.
eaters, yeah.
Right.
And the nice thing is I work with them to figure out what's going to taste delicious within
Great.
their needs, their likes, their dietary concerns,
I mean,
or
her
allergies.
business has grown tremendously, which is why she isn't always here. I noticed, Carlos, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Grating?
I'm just grating my
Swiss?
cheese. It melts it a lot quicker.
When it's grated.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can buy it grated
can.
as well, or shredded, or
And this
whatever.
is a great sharp
That's a
cheddar
wonderful
cheese. Yes.
grater, by the way.
Yes.
So not all cheeses come shredded, which is kind of a bummer.
It is true. You never find Munster shredded.
No.
You only will find usually cheddar and maybe
I think we're good.
mozzarella.
Can I grab that pig? I think we're good. We shifted a little
Okay,
bit.
fabulous.
See if we can just
Whoa.
slide that back over.
Sure.
You need to cut that though. You need an extra cutting board?
We
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Cheese stuck.
It happens.
So paninis are not a perfect science. We would have loved this to have come out.
Now, when you're in restaurants, woo!
This is not the right spatula either. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
It's okay, because I think it's important to know that even a seasoned chef like Laura can
Doesn't
not
have the
get it
right
off the
tool.
panini thing or whatever. It doesn't
Use a big
matter.
spatula.
So when you're at home, anything you do, anything that makes a mistake, it doesn't make any difference. It's all great in the
So
mouth.
at my home, this would be an open face sandwich.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
would, right, because this happens often
Yeah,
with
right.
me, so it would be an open-faced Cuban sandwich. Kathy would say, "What happened to your sandwich?" I said, "It's an open-faced
An
Cuban
open
sandwich."
face, that's right.
An open-faced Cuban sandwich.
Oh my God, look at
I'll
this
put
plate.
this in there, right? We got that.
Look
And I think
at
that's a
this
great
plate.
lesson too. Don't get flustered in the kitchen. Stuff
Right.
happens. Just
Exactly.
keep
Things-
going.
Most things are fixable.
Yes.
Right.
In the kitchen and cooking. If it isn't this, it's something else, and then you just say, "Oh no, I made it this time with another cheese."
Right, right. We've tried
So
it.
take a look at that,
Exactly.
everybody. How wonderful
Yum.
those are. Boy, do they look good.
Looks
It
great.
does look really good.
So what are you doing
So what
now
I'm
with
going
your
to do
soup?
is I'm going to put some butter on the inside, right? The butter goes on the inside on this one, right? I'm going to take a little bit of the alliums, right? And mix it here with a little bit of the cheese, right?
these two?
Way.
Yep. Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you. A lot about those. Perfect. More than enough. Yep.
So Swiss cheese,
Allium,
chopped butter, chopped onion.
Can I
What's
do some-
allium?
Onions.
Oh,
It's the
no
onion
kidding.
family.
Anything that's in the onion family.
Is it allium?
Allium.
Did you learn something? Because I just did.
And this makes a mess, so
Yeah.
as you can tell, right?
They need to make bread with like a little lip around
Well,
the
yeah,
edge,
right.
like special grilled
Holder.
cheese bread.
Well, if
Come
you
on,
do
people,
a
invent
really
that. There's a place for this.
Right.
well, now if you use a very soft bread, you can scoop out the middle a little bit,
Oh,
put all
and-
your stuff inside, and then do it that way.
Right. Now, I want
Right.
to call your
Right.
attention to what Carlos did. He used mayo on the outside of the bread
Right.
instead of butter
Right.
or anything or oil.
Right.
And tell me the benefit of that.
Because the bread doesn't burn.
Ah.
It tends to have a higher cooking heating ratio. Is that?
Mayonnaise has
I understand.
become something that so many people use in cooking. I mean, it's when you're going to put breadcrumbs on something and you put a layer of mayo
Yeah.
in between, it must just soften it and tenderize it a
Well,
little bit.
I remember my mother just had a flashback of, was it fish or something that they used to smear the mayo on?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
put
keep
it
it
in?
moist.
Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bluefish.
And they used to bake it that way.
Bluefish.
So it's something that's been around for a long time.
Right,
but
we
we've
must
kinda
have
come
gone
back
away
to-
from it in the don't eat fat,
Well,
Right.
yeah,
you know,
God
regime,
forbid, right?
you know. But this is light mayo.
This is
so
light
you know.
mayo, right.
They
Or
make
the
olive
olive
oil
oil.
mayo, they have canola oil mayo.
They
I don't
do.
know if they're better.
I wonder would our avocado mayo work?
I think so.
Because it's fat
I
on
think
fat,
so.
so as
Yeah.
long as you have a fat to
I think
protect.
so.
Wow.
So I'm just going to pick this thing up.
Quickly flip.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
getting
let's
nice and brown.
Do that, right?
Very nice.
Put a little weight on it.
Yeah, and if you had like a heavy can or something, we could put our pickles on there.
Right. I usually have a brick wrapped up in foil,
Yeah.
right?
Even
Just
better.
sitting
And that's-
underneath the sink.
Even better if
Right.
you're doing yard
Yeah,
work.
I mean, the brick is really helpful because it's heavy and it just
Yeah.
lasts, it doesn't burn,
And it's flat.
and it's flat, exactly. And
Do you want me to
you,
take-
Yeah,
many of you
thank
probably
you.
have been to restaurants where you see chicken on a brick, or
Yeah.
chicken,
Yes.
and that's,
Yep.
they cook
It's
it and
underneath it.
smash it down, yeah.
So what I'm
Exactly.
going to do, put this,
Oh, this is a little trick.
Getting fancy.
getting fancy, right? But I don't get too fancy, but that's as fancy as
So
I'm
this
gonna
is,
get.
now what are you calling this? I mean, when you
I'm
add
gonna call
extra
it
cheese.
a fuzzy grilled cheese.
A fuzzy
Fuzzy
grilled cheese.
So
Fuzzy
Because it's
logic.
got more
Fuzzy
cheese. What'd you say?
fuzzy logic.
Fuzzy
It's
logic,
fuzzy,
yeah.
fuzzy logic, yes.
Excellent.
So sometimes, right, I'll go one step further, and I'll just throw this in. So I'll throw some of this Taiwanese
The
ketchup,
gochujang,
gochujang, in there before I do the bread. Sometimes I end up doing just putting a little bit of the smoked paprika.
These are
right?
two of my favorite flavors too. They have
Right.
such, not very hot.
Just
It's just nice flavor.
kind of in there, and it does its thing before I flip it over, right? So I'm going to do that.
Then you need
Of
more
course, we don't
cheese.
have
I'll
a
hold it.
spatula,
I know.
This is group cooking.
right? Right? So I'm gonna do,
Do you need some more of these?
yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
So you
gotta
say
be
this-
honest with you, grilled cheese is a neat, this is a little messy,
Yeah, this one's a little messy,
but fun.
right? It becomes a fuzzy grilled cheese.
Yeah, you can
Very
see it
cool.
has a whole coating of cheese on top of the bread,
Nice.
which makes it fabulous.
The burnt cheese is always my favorite part, like on the
Yes.
pizza and stuff, that like crispy, crunchy cheese.
Many, I'm sure
Yeah.
you've done this, Laura. Many years ago, I was at a function at the Endicott Estate, I believe, and a chef was showing, and all he did was put cheese in the pan. The cheese just spread out,
Yeah.
hardened immediately,
Yeah.
and he picked it up while it was still soft. You have to do it fast,
Yes.
and he made like a shape and did something with it,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
put some other things in it, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
were like cheddar cheese cups.
Yeah.
So we're
We're almost done here,
Okay,
right?
so
We're
this
just
is
waiting
all
for this
done?
to do its
And
thing.
again, in a grilled cheese like this, you can put this fuzziness on the outside of any grilled cheese.
Right. And if you want to go one step further, right, it becomes, you kind of do that a little bit more.
We don't.
Sorry.
That's okay,
We're
that's
almost
all right.
done here.
We're almost done.
Yep.
You want me to just to kind of do its thing up here?
Let's just cut it and lay it on the plate.
Hold on.
You could also put the cheese on top and cover it up with a lid or another little pan, and it'll just melt over and be totally gooey,
Right.
messy,
Yeah.
sloppy, yummy,
Right,
like
right.
You
good,
cut it
good
on the
chill
wood.
should be.
Where's
I
the
will.
wood,
The wood?
Here, you want to cut it on this?
Sure.
So I think the key here is there's no rules really to grilled cheese of where you do it, where you bake it, and then you could even do this
Right.
on the grill if you had your sandwich
So these
together
are a
and
lot
out.
of different grilled sandwiches, other than the plain grilled cheese. I'm going to stick that over there if it fits.
Holy cow,
Wonderful.
that's a Super Bowl
My
platter.
goodness, it is a Super Bowl platter.
Took what, a half
And
hour,
there's-
right? All these
Yeah,
amazing
I mean,
paninis?
really, this is
So
a
quick.
half-hour show.
So quick.
Look what you've got, and you know, you could be
Looks
doing
good.
2 or 3 at the same time in bigger fry pans.
Absolutely.
People, and it's warm, and
Yeah.
it really is
Right.
like a
Comfort
feel-good
Right, comfort food, yeah.
Comfort
Thank you
food.
so much for joining us. Love and eat these sandwiches with all the soups we did before.
Absolutely.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you.